Well, hello there. I'm Tatiana Volk, the GM Witch, and today we are going to do the long-awaited indie roundup video where I talk about some of the latest awesome indie created tabletop RPG content that is available. So I decided to break this up into categories and timestamp everything down below to make it easier for you to get to the content you are most interested in. In this episode, we'll be going over content that is created for existing systems, mostly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, along with indie created tabletop RPG systems, and some fun tabletop RPG related merchandise. I will be looking at my iPad to kind of refresh me as I'm going over this information, and since I'll be going over several different things, I will not be doing any in-depth reviews in this video, so if you would like to learn more, do let me know in the comments section. Of course, everything will be listed down below. Please be sure to check out the links that I provide and show these amazing creators some love. They deserve it. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into it. Starting with monster-specific content, we have Monstrous Logicc, which focuses in the first iteration on goblins and orcs, but I also got access to the undead and fairies version. So reading from the first little bit here, what is Monstrous Logicc? It says, Monstrous Logicc is a rule set for using automated enemies in your tactical tabletop role-playing games. The Monstrous Logicc system is highly compatible with many role-playing games and hackable to fit your game systems and settings. So basically, it's just a really cool way to automate your monster's logic, basically, and it's built to work in many different systems. So I think that's pretty fantastic. Next up is Monsters of the Mind by Black Crown Games, which is actually a sample of a project that they've been working on for a while, which features one out of the 10 mind-based monsters that will be included in the final version. So I think this is pretty exciting. It gives you a kind of breakdown into the monster, the background, some understanding of it, along with the actual stats, and a beautifully illustrated image of the monster. So I think that's really cool. I believe they had this sample available for $1.99, but they're offering it for free for everybody here if you want to get an idea of what will be included in the final version. Then the next one, I won't show too much for this just in case we have any arachnophobes, but we have a monster compendium that focuses specifically on spiders. I will show the cover because I think that is fairly vague enough. This one is 9 pages of spider, basically, monsters and their stats and information about them, some ability scores and their special features and things like that, and illustrations, which again is why I'm not going to share too much into it. But I felt like it was a fun thing to share regardless, because if you're into that thing and you don't have anyone who is deathly afraid of spiders, this I think could be a fun way to spice up an adventure. So that wraps up our monster specific portion. Next up, we have an in-between type material. This is the Underground Oracle Quarterly #1, which is just jam-packed with a lot of different information in here. They have, I believe, some class information along with some monster type information, just along with a lot of kind of ideas and things that you can use in your games. It's just kind of a catch-all with a bunch of different stuff. For example, there is the College of the Folk Singer, which ends up having some information for this class. So, you know, starting at 14th level, you can weave a song that heals your allies, etc., etc. So they have this, which I think is really cool. Then they have some spells that go with this. So new bard spells based off of the College of the Folk Singer. That kind of just attaches that and gives more of that content. Then we have some creature type things. So we've got a boggin in here, and it's got some of its stats, some information about it. Oh, I love this guy. It's so cute. There's a lot of really cool information in here. Just surprised that there's so much here. I actually back them on Patreon, and they're very, very active over on Underground Oracle. You definitely get a lot of content for backing them, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. You can also get all of the content that you get on their Patreon via TTRPG. I don't know if it's that or the DM's Guild. Now, I think the next section would be adventures to use in your existing systems, mostly Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinders. You can modify all of these to use in some other systems, but I think they're mostly meant for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So, for the adventure tier, we're going to start off with some free content. Tavern Tales free RPG adventures available over on their Patreon. You do not have to pledge to get access to their free content. And as of writing this, which actually was a little while ago, they had 3 adventures available for free, along with a ton of maps that you can get a hold of, all for free. And then if you pledge, they're super affordable pledges, you get access to a ton more adventure maps and more content. Which I highly recommend. I pledged because I thought what they had provided was just pretty darn cool. So one of the adventures that you can get for free is their Vault of Pestilence. So they did a really good job formatting this to look like a regular kind of adventure. And then in this one, they end up showcasing a nice map and just giving you things that you can do in that map and based off of that area. So there's like an adventure hook, an overview, what happens in the different areas. And I just think it's really nice. In this case, it's 3 pages of awesome content that you get totally free. And then you can pledge to get access to more stuff if you want to. It's not mandatory, obviously, but I do suggest it because I think they're pretty awesome. So check them out. Then the next adventure based content that I have is actually from Instant Adventures, and they have a lot of content for really affordable over on the DM's Guild, and they were kind enough to send me basically everything. I was kind of looking into it. They have varying prices and they just look so awesome. So they have these cool booklets that are 1-page double-sided that you fold over and basically has everything that you need to run this little kind of area. So it has a map on one side and then the information about the map on the other side. So I'm currently looking at the laboratory one. I know with this download, they also include additional goodies with it. I believe they have some maps and player handouts and things like that. You do get quite a good deal for all of these, so I would highly recommend at least checking some of them out. So yeah, so this 5th edition based mini adventure for levels 3 to 5, and then on one side it has an actual map with little areas. So in this case there are 5 different sections, and then on the other side it kind of breaks down those different sections, a little bit of information about them that you can use to kind of build off of and create an interesting adventure. So I think this is very well put together. I think it has very useful information. It does on the back kind of give you a synopsis about what this adventure is about, along with some story hooks. And again, it's available on TTRPG. So the next category, before we kind of wrap everything up, is the tabletop RPG systems. So these are systems that are exclusive to themselves. They are not dependent on Dungeons and Dragons. They are their own systems. So that's really exciting and that's really cool. And Power Outage, Be a Hero. This is a system that is family friendly and geared towards a younger audience, in this case to kind of involve a younger audience in the gameplay. So this one is definitely a good one to play with the kids in your life. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would definitely check this one out. It's jam-packed with all kinds of information and is built specifically to be easier for younger players to enjoy and get in and involved. So it's a good stepping stone to get players excited about playing, and then it's family friendly, so it's not just for kids. So it's something that you can play with your kids if you're interested, which I think is really cool. There's just a lot of interesting information in here that I highly recommend, whether you are looking for a game to play with a younger audience or just looking at interesting different ways to kind of include information into your own games. It does seem like it is more superhero based, so keep that in mind. Now, the last thing. So we have some merch here, which I'm really excited to share. I actually got both this mug and the t-shirt for this. I think this is pretty awesome. I love the art on it, and I think just thought it would be a fun thing to share. I don't buy a lot of stuff like this, but this one was pretty cool. So this is from Glass Staff Gear, and it came pretty quickly. The mug was $14.95 and the t-shirt was $23.95. There was a discount, shipping was free, and my total ended up being $38.31 for the two things. And then another Etsy shop that I really enjoyed was this one. This is from Level 1 Gamers, and I ended up getting these two mugs. I ended up getting the larger versions, so these are both 15 fluid ounce mugs. I think they had ones that were these size that were comparable in price. Unfortunately, because these are bigger, they are more expensive, so these are $19.95 each. Free shipping, but with tax it ended up being $43.70, which admittedly is very expensive, but I kind of wanted some Dungeons and Dragons merch, and I wanted to support some creators over on Etsy because I used to do Etsy a lot. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Indie Corner. If there are any indie creators that you want me to check out, let me know in the comment section down below. If you like it, be sure to thumbs up, share it, and check out all of these amazing indie creators. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. All right, you guys, until next time, bye.